myself, Dr. D.R. Chamde, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Sharda Mahavidyalaya, Parvani. Today we will see the next point, mineral nutrition. In this topic, at first we will study introduction and afterward major and minor elements. Let's see introduction about the mineral nutrition. We know that for the normal growth and development of the plants, they require elements. These elements are absorbed from the soil through the roots. Then these absorbed elements are distributed in all the parts of the plant body where they are utilized. This absorption and utilization of minerals is called as mineral nutrition. In the plants, there are about 40 different elements are found. Among these elements, some of the elements are essential and some other are non-essential. Now, we will see the essential and non-essential elements. The elements which are necessary for the plant's growth are called as essential elements. In other words, the elements which are indispensable for the normal growth and development of the plants are called as essential elements. In opposite to this, the elements which are not necessary for the plant's growth are called as non-essential elements. In other words, the elements which are not indispensable for the normal growth and development of the plants are called as non-essential elements. For the normal growth and development of the plants, 16 elements are essential. These are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, then boron, manganese, iron, chlorine, copper, zinc and molybdenum. These are the 16 essential elements. Among these elements, some of the elements required in large quantity, whereas some other required in small quantity. Means, on the basis of their requirement in the plants, they are classified into two groups, that is major and minor elements. Now, we will see major and minor elements. The elements which require in large quantity are called as major elements. The major elements are also called as either macro elements or micronutrients. The major elements are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium and sulfur. Then the minor elements. The elements which require in small quantity are called as minor elements. The minor elements are also known as microelements, micronutrients or trace elements. The minor elements are boron, manganese, iron, chlorine, copper, zinc and molybdenum. In addition to these major and minor elements, plants also require some other elements, that is aluminium, sodium, silicon, cobalt, vanadium and gallium. This is the introduction about the mineral nutrition. Now we will see major and minor elements one by one in detail. Now at first we will see the major elements. There are about 9 major elements, and among these 9 major elements, at first we will see the 3 macro elements, that is carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. These elements are not minerals, but these are essential elements. These elements are obtained or absorbed from the air and soil. In the plants, these elements play very important role in the formation of cell wall and protoplasm. Hence, these elements are also known as framework elements. Actually, without these elements, life is not possible. At earlier, already we have seen that these are not minerals or non-minerals. Hence, we are not discussing in detail. After these carbon, hydrogen and oxygen elements, we will see the next element, nitrogen. At first, we will see in brief introduction about the nitrogen. Nitrogen is an essential macro element. Approximately, in the plant body, the amount of nitrogen is about 1 to 3% only. After this introduction, we will see the sources of nitrogen. The sources of nitrogen are atmosphere and soil. Among these, atmosphere is the main source of nitrogen. In the atmosphere, it is present in the form of gas. Means, atmospheric nitrogen is the main source of nitrogen. It is also present in the soil. In the soil, it is present in the forms of ammonium and nitrogenous salts like ammonia, nitrites and nitrates. Now we will see the specific or physiological roles of nitrogen in the plants. Nitrogen is an important component of proteins, vitamins, chlorophylls, nucleic acids, alkaloids, coenzymes, etc. It also plays important role in various physiological processes like photosynthesis, respiration, protein synthesis, growth, etc. Overall, it is seen that nitrogen plays very important role in almost all the metabolic reactions. These are the some functions of nitrogen seen in the plant body. Now we will see the deficiency symptoms of nitrogen element. Due to the deficiency of nitrogen, yellowing of leaves takes place. When the green tissue turns to yellow, it is called as chlorosis. Then inhibition of cell division and cell enlargement takes place. The respiratory rate is also decreases. Then the protein and starch contents are also reduced. Due to the reduction in protein contents, the plant growth becomes stunted. In some plants, the leaf veins become either purple or red in color due to the deposition of anthocyanin pigments. This is in brief account of nitrogen element. Afterward, we will see the next element, phosphorus. Phosphorus is an essential macroelement or macronutrient. In the plant body, the amount of phosphorus is about 0.5 to 1% only. The source of phosphorus is soil, means it is obtained or absorbed from the soil. In the soil, it is present in the form of soluble phosphates or phosphate ions like phosphoric acid, dihydrogen phosphates, etc. Now we will see the functions of phosphorus. Phosphorus is an important component of nucleic acids, phospholipids, coenzymes, etc. Then the phospholipids along with the proteins are the components of cell membrane. It also plays very important role in various processes like photosynthesis, respiration, protein synthesis, fat metabolism, oxidation reduction, reaction, etc. These are the some functions of phosphorus. Afterward, we will see the deficiency symptoms of phosphorus. Phosphorus deficiency cause premature leaf fall, means young leaf falls down. Then the leaves become dark green to blue-green color. In some plants, the leaf veins become purple or red in color. This is due to the deposition of anthocyanin pigments. The roots and shoots become short and slender. The plant's growth is retarded, means slow, as well as there is a delay in flowering. Also, the dead necrotic patches are found on the leaves and fruits. Finally, the phosphorus deficiency causes a disease, that is sickle leaf disease, means the leaves become a sickle-like. This is the account of phosphorus. Now we will see the next element, potassium. Potassium is another essential macroelement or macronutrient. In the plants, approximately the amount of potassium is about 0.3 to 0.6% only. The source of potassium is also soil, means this element is also absorbed from the soil solution. In the soil, it is widely distributed. Usually, the plants absorb this element in the form of potassium ions. Now, we will see the functions of potassium. Potassium is not an important component of organic compounds like nitrogen and phosphorus, but it plays important role in various processes like photosynthesis, respiration, protein synthesis, cell division, etc. It acts as actuator of many enzymes, means it activates many enzymes. It also acts as inorganic catalyst in various processes. It also controls various processes like cellular organization, permeability, stomatal movement, etc. After these functions, now we will see the deficiency symptoms of potassium in the plants. Due to the deficiency of potassium, the leaves become dull or bluish green in color. Then the interveinal chlorosis takes place, means the green tissue which is present in between the two veins becomes yellowish. Then the necrotic patches are also found at the tips and along the margins of the leaves. Then the shoots become thin and limited in growth. Then the plant growth becomes stunted with the formation of numerous tillers. There may be little or no flowering, resulting into reduction in the yield. Potassium deficiency causes two diseases in the plants. First one rosette and next one dieback. When the plants become bushy in appearance, it is called as rosette disease. And when the loss of apical dominance and regeneration of lateral buds takes place, it is called as dieback disease. Here we have another macro element is completed. Thank you.